All right, tonight we are here in the Rio Grande Valley, just outside of McAllen, Texas. I'm here with former Acting Director of ICE, Tom Homan, and former Acting Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection, Mark Morgan. In just a few minutes, we've seen dozens of migrants who have been apprehended in this region. Briefly, why do you think migrants are coming at these rates in the Rio Grande Valley under the Biden administration?
It's clear because the borders are open under this administration, and two important elements know that. The cartels and human smuggling organizations know that, and they're telling the migrants that the borders are wide open. That's why you're seeing what you're seeing. And I think what's very important is everybody that you see behind us right now, they're going to be released into the interior United States. They're not just going to be dropped off, at border towns and cities along the southwest border. They're going to be bussed into every major metropolitan city throughout this country, never to be heard from again.
Look, it's an open borders policy, as Mark said, and we said for months this is going to happen. And what you see behind it is supposed to be a humane policy of the Biden administration. There's nothing humane about crying children behind us. And look, the data clearly shows that 30 of these women behind me were sexually assaulted making this trip. Children were assaulted. And, and they're going to be released in the United States and never going to be removed because the Biden administration not only has opened the border, they decapitated ICE. And non-criminal fugitives are no longer a priority. And they did this despite the fact that the data clearly shows 90% of Central Americans that claim asylum at the border never get relief from U.S. courts because they either don't show up or they don't qualify. If you look at the last 8 years, less than 3% of those hundreds of thousands who've been ordered deported, less than 3% left. So if you know it's 90% fraud and only 3% leave, President Trump had the right thought. Okay, with that kind of data, I won't have the Remain in Mexico program. This administration completely ignores the data, completely ignores the facts, and opens this border. This is what open borders agenda looks like. I said in my last interview. This isn't incompetence. This isn't them making a mistake. This is by design. This is what they want, and this is what the American people got now. You got an open borders agenda from this administration.
And like Tom said, look behind us. How is that humane? I mean, how is it humane where you have a country now that is encouraging, facilitating, and incentivizing individuals, right, to turn their lives over to the cartels, to take the dangerous trek, like Tom said, 30% or above get assaulted. And then we're still in the middle of a global pandemic. They have to go through multiple COVID hotspots in Mexico. Then they're shoved in overcrowded, unsanitary stash houses for days and weeks before they even get here, and then the cartels leave them to fend for themselves. And Tom mentioned last interview we did, Border Patrol annually, they rescue 4,000 to 5,000 rescues annually. 4,000 to 5,000 rescues. That number is going to skyrocket this year because of this administration policy. There is nothing humane about what we're seeing behind us right now.
And this administration wants to point to the Trump's policy of family separation, which is about 2,500. Well, the Biden policies have already caused a separation of 18,000 families. And they weren't put in licensed daycare facilities like the Trump administration. They were put in hands of criminal cartels.
That's right.
You explained to me how that's humane and this border policy works. Look, as we see these border patrol agents are tied up with a large group here, they're tied up with another large group half a mile down the road, which means this border right now is vulnerable because the border patrol agents are all tied up, and that's exactly what the cartels designed. Send large family groups in one area, tie all the border patrol assets up so we can move our fentanyl and our opioids and MS-13 gang members, and those that don't want to get caught will go through the unguarded border. Again, this is incompetence at the highest level that they're going to open our border up.
And we warned the Biden administration. Prior to the election, we were told American people that during the campaign, if the Biden administration or any administration took over and enacted policies that the Biden administration said they were going to do and that they've done, that they would create an unmitigated crisis that would make 2019 pale in comparison. We warned them. During the transition, we had exhaustive briefings with the Biden transition team. We told them that if you did what they have done, that you would create an unbelievable surge, and that the Border Patrol facilities would be overwhelmed, that the HHS facilities would be overwhelmed, exactly what we're experiencing now. In March in 2020, the numbers had significantly dropped to 33,000 in a single month. This March, we're going to see about 150,000. That's a 350% increase. That's not seasonal. When the president said that, he was absolutely lying to the American people.
So you guys have obviously worked on this issue directly for many, many years now. What can the Biden administration do immediately to stop this? Families are suffering. This is a crisis on all levels.
Reinstitute the Trump policy. Trump policies worked. He had the historic. He hit historic lows on illegal immigration because we remain in Mexico, the Safe Third Country Agreement. He secured our border, and I've said it 1,000 times in many interviews. I've worked for 6 different presidents, but no president done more to secure the border than President Trump. And they're gonna look. You didn't see this last year under the Trump administration. The border was secure, the most secure I've seen in my lifetime. I've been doing this since 1984. I started as one of these guys agree. The Trump administration secured our border like no other administration. This administration came in and tore it down within 2 weeks. We went from the most secure border I've ever seen in my career to a border that's out of control. Yeah. This border is vulnerable and it's dangerous, and people are going to die. I said a few months ago, these policies are going to cause people to die. We had a 9-year-old girl that died in the river just the other day. So, and there's going to be more. We had fatalities of smugglers trying to get away from Border Patrol. Walls work. Walls save lives, and Trump administration, they can vilify the Trump administration all you want, but when he secured the border, how many women didn't get raped? How many children didn't die? How many millions did the cartels not make? Trump administration did the right thing, and I stand by it.
I completely agree with what Tom just said. And here's something. So it was just a couple weeks ago when the current DHS secretary got out and testified that our borders are secure. That's what he said. He was asked, and he responded point blank, our borders are secure. Does that look like our borders are secure? Of course they're not secure. And in this area right here is where we were building countless miles of wall system. And right here, it stopped. Just another tool that was taken away on top of the open border policies you have right now that are sending the message loud and clear, it's time to come. Now they're feigning a message. Oh, we're telling them don't come yet. That's a joke. Look, messaging is only effective as when your substantive policies back up and align with your message. But when your message says one thing and your policies are saying nope, the borders are actually open, it's a joke. They're not listening to the message. They're listening to what's absolutely happened.